Welcome, welcome, welcome. We have made it to Thursday night. Ready for some football. I hope you are, because I definitely am, and I am super excited for it. I hope you guys are too. This game is not one you're going to be excited for, unfortunately, because it's going to be rough out there. It's just one of those things. This game is not the ideal play. You don't like it. It's too difficult. It's just a mess. And I mean, honestly, what you're going to end up doing, you're going to play your lovely Bills. You're going to play Achan. And then, of course, you're going to be dealing with, well, I'm guessing I'm getting a lot of Hill questions tonight. I'm guessing I'm going to get a lot of, I'm trying to think of what else. I guess Hill and Waddle, which I'm just staying away from. It's too terrifying, too risky. I can't bring myself to do it. So I'd much rather just roll with the people I know, I trust, I understand, the ones that I believe in. So it's tough. So that in mind, for some reason your guys' questions aren't loading. But while I get that up, I do see that Chad Corey's in, Pearsall, Wandale, Tyreek Hill, or Ridley. And that's one of the questions we're going to have. I mean, that's just going. You're looking at the riskiness of dealing with Pearsall and potentially the backup quarterback. I don't love that. You're looking at Wandale, who should be okay, but it's a difficult matchup. Should be all right. I'm not that worried. Hill, however, I am terrified. I'm not playing Hill. I can't bring myself to do it. You can't make me because it's too risky. So, unfortunately, I'm not going to go with Hill. And then you have Ridley. If I'm only picking one, man, it's really close. I think I'm going to end up rolling. I think I'm going to go Ridley. While I know it's risky, I still think the opportunity's there. It's really close between him and Wandale, honestly. And so I'd much rather roll him out and hope for the best. So, hey, there it is. All right, Brian. Let's see. Here's my dilemma. Jacobs has a horrible matchup. I agree. Diggs just found out he's having a baby with Cardi B. Yeah, and I have May, Diggs, Jacob, or Sutton. I hate the Sutton matchup this week, unfortunately, so I'm going to have to just count that one out, which really, unfortunately, brings you back to Diggs and Jacobs. Diggs has been slowly coming on, and yes, I agree. Jacobs' matchup is horrible. They've done just a miserable job with it, and it's been rough. However, this is an ideal matchup. They should be able to win this game. They're going to potentially be without Kraft. I think you have to roll it out and hope for the best because it's just it's too difficult. And so I'm gonna have to say that I'm gonna go Jacobs. I mean, Diggs is probably gonna be fine, but until they actually bring it up full, I can't trust it. And so I'm gonna roll out Jacobs here. I know it's terrifying, but just how it is. All right, what's good, Nibs? Glad you're back. Hey there, PPR, Eagles or Buffalo D? I feel like the Eagles will have some trouble. I have the Bills defense as my second best defense on the week. It might actually be one. I guess I should double check that. Let's see here. If I pull it up, I have them at a lovely pretty sure it's two. Maybe it might be one. Correction. I did move them up to one, just because it's rough. So Bills have historically, I think they're 12-2 against Dolphins, and I still think I have the Eagles. Oh no, I have them just outside the top 12. I have them at 15. So it's a big discrepancy. Mostly because I could see that game being potentially high scoring, which makes me nervous on it, but it'll be interesting, for sure. All right, Nibs. Got a full PPR question. Pick two. Shakir, Jennings, Wandale, Iamana Ertz, Waddle, or Judkins. PPR, I'm probably going to roll out Jennings no matter what, and then it becomes an interesting question between Wandale and Shakir. Um, I'm really nervous for the reason I like Shakir so much this week is due to the fact that this matchup should include uh, the chance where they're trying to maintain possession for a majority of it. And so with that in mind, it makes me want to believe in everything going on. They're going to have to possess it. I think they're going to need Shakir as that short area target. I do think Coleman has a good game because I think that long bomb is still an option. However, Wandale also being that possession guy, I think the targets have been there week after week. He had a massive week this past one because of a big game. So you're definitely playing Jennings, and then I would probably end up going Wandale just barely because I'm just so nervous that the Bills aren't going to do a whole lot this week. So, welcome in, K-Bird. I know. It's been exciting. Week 2, we're on to it. Well, going into week 3, I guess now. But, all right, full PPR. Waddle, Pollard, or Etienne? Ooh, that's a good one. I actually have this pretty close. I still have Etienne the highest. I really like Pollard this week as well. But between those two, I just can't bring myself to go with Pollard just because haven't seen it. I mean, it's right there. I have Pollard at 21 with Etienne at 9. So that it's quite a big discrepancy for me. So I'm going to roll out Etienne this week. Polo, good evening. Glad you can make it back in. Kincaid or Pitts? Oh, that's brutal. Pitts popped up with an injury today, so I think you are kind of forced to play Kincaid. Again, I still prefer some people on the wire, like if Hunter Henry's there, Juwan Johnson's still too widely available. I think they finally got him over the 50% threshold after this week, but really depends on who's on your wire because they might have an option there. But of the two, I have Kincaid higher by a pretty good margin, I think. I have where Kincaid or Pitts? I have Kincaid at 13 and Pitts at 17. So 4 spots. It really is going to depend on who scores, and I think that's going to be Kincaid. So Ryan James, start which 2? Half PPR, DK Metcalf, Mike Evans, Turkey Hill, Tyreek Hill, Jacoby Myers, or Juwan Jennings. DK Metcalf might be my answer, but it will really be dependent on whether or not Sauce is playing. Is that the right team? I think that's a matchup this week. It's either him or Christian Gonzalez. I felt like one of them's dealing with injury. So, with that in mind, I'm kind of wanting, again, if they're out, I'm probably going to roll up DK just because, again, I think the matchup is really solid. If, man, I can't think of it's a Patriot. So if Gonzalez is out, you're going to roll DK. And then if it's PPR, I think the next player is going to be Jennings, but it's awfully close with Myers. If you're worried about Jennings' injury and the potential backup quarterback situation, go Myers. You should get a solid number there no matter what. I like Evans, but again, we haven't seen it from him. He's had that tough coverage every week, it seems like. And then, again, he's going to probably see Sauce if Sauce is healthy, which he's been playing. So we'll see how that works out. But one of those things you just got to keep an eye on. All right, Ryan. Waddle or Franklin in PPR? I'm going to roll Franklin, but just barely. It's not so much that I don't trust him. I just don't trust Sean Payton. It's really what it comes down to. He terrifies me with how he uses people, whether that's the running back rotation, wide receiver rotation, that massive jump from week 1 to week 2 for Franklin in snaps played. It's just terrifying. But Waddle and Tyreek, they will really be a big play or a touchdown to happen, and I just with how this offense has been rolling, I am super nervous about trusting either one of them. So much rather roll Franklin this week and hope for the best. Polo, perfect. Yes. Go get Hunter Henry. He'll be great for you. Again, this seems like a good opportunity for him. So really hoping they realize that they need to use him a little more. Week 1 looked great, and then they dropped him back a little bit this past week, but still believe in him a little more than Kincaid or Pitts. Chad, Ibuka or Pickens? Like I was just saying, it will really be dependent on if Sauce is playing. Because if Sauce Gardner's playing is covering Evans, I think you're going to have to roll a Ibuka. It's also hard to sit him at this point. He's been playing so well. He scored every week. He's getting you that, I'll say 13 plus just to be safe, points every week, and it's just hard to get away from it. So much rather roll that out and hope for the best. Like I said, it's really hard to get away from him. He's looked super talented, so gonna hope for the best and roll him out again. You just have to at this point. We don't have enough data to say that definitively, but he's looked really good. Love you too. Of course, happy to help. So if you guys have questions, please get them in. Always appreciate it. If you're in the Discord, congrats. Because I think on Sunday I always start my research a little bit for this, particularly for this game, and see how it's going. And so I saw the line early, and it was 13.5 and 49.5, and I just could not bring myself to believe that. And so I immediately went, okay, I'm going to go the under. It's a Thursday night game, short week, and Bills are going to win. 13.5 seems like a good number. I was pretty excited for it. I'm unsure of if it's changed since Sunday, but I really liked it, and I was going to go the under. So if you want to play that, more than welcome to as a betting option. But Chad, nervous about Fields being out and just being a Bucky and White game. I get that. However, it's more. You'll still see a lot of probably both. I'm hoping that Irving really gets on track here. However, Tyrod has been pretty solid about getting it to, or he doesn't hurt your team. He will play conservatively. So also another reason that Ibuka should see an uptick in targets is because of that. I really think that benefits that short area game. So Bucky and White, of course, will have a good matchup and probably see a handful of targets as well. I'd expect an uptick in targets for Otten, and then I'm really nervous about Evans because of that. Unless Sauce is out, because Tyrod is going to be looking for players that are open. So with that in mind, I'm kind of rolling out. That's why I'm sticking with Ibuka, especially with the fact that he just looks good. So, G-Turn, welcome back, man. It's been a minute. Buffalo or Atlanta's defense. I have Buffalo as my number 1 ranked defense, so I can't get away from that. I actually have Atlanta as my number 2, so don't tell anybody, but I don't think you go wrong with either of them. If you want to play it a little safer, Atlanta's probably going to have control the ball a little more than I think Buffalo will. So especially, let's see. So the Dolphins-Bills game is 49.5 for the over-under, while the Falcons are a 43.5. And it's also against the Panthers, who just lost a bunch of their O-line. 2 more of their O-line. So it also depends on your scoring for your defense. If you get points for sacks, it might be worth it to go and roll out Atlanta, because that's part of the reason I have them ranked so high. I don't know if they'll actually come up with any big takeaways. While I think Buffalo might actually have that chance at getting a pick 6, I'm unsure if Atlanta's secondary is going to be able to do that. They will play stingy, though, and keep that game very gritty and put Bryce Young on his back quite a bit. So part of why I have it ranked that way, but again, I don't think you go wrong with those 2 options. All right, Steven. Let's see. DJ Moore, Waddle, Dobbs, read out. And regardless, would you pick up Dobbs to drop Evan Ingram? Yes, I would pick up Dobbs, and that's probably it's close. Mostly because I'm very curious now if Kraft plays. I have to see more of it, because I'm curious to kind of see how that breaks down. But if Kraft is out, I think Dobbs is actually a pretty big benefactor. Also, Aaron Jones being sidelined helps that as well for Dobbs. So that uptick should be there and should be available. DJ Moore is interesting because, as we talked about yesterday, potential for a big game. We poke fun, but it's when you count DJ Moore out that he comes out and just puts up massive numbers. So it'd be very interesting. What about Atlanta versus Green Bay? I'm assuming you just are talking about defenses in general. And so when I go to my rankings, I currently have, I think those are actually my top three. Yes. Buffalo Bills, Atlanta Falcons, and Green Bay Packers are 1, 2, and 3. So again, it really depends on your scoring. If you get more points for sacks, I still think I would go the Falcons. However, if you're thinking there's a chance for picks, you probably want to go with the Packers. Because so far the people who have played the Packers have had to throw 40 plus times. So I could see that being a benefit. For specifically them. Be curious how that works out. Trav Wade, he asked about Coleman versus Dobbins' flexor. Any info on why? I was leaning Dobbins, but the coin flip, and it decided Coleman. Okay, so again, Dobbins has a tough matchup. It's a big part of it. Playing against the Chargers, who have held Pacheco to under 50 yards. And then, of course, going up against Genty last week, who did well and had a good amount of work, but still, it's just not enough. And with the fact that Dobbins is splitting, it makes me too nervous. Coleman, it really is just going to take one big play. And that's kind of why I have it, is because I could see the Bills coming in and immediately just chucking one bomb, and Coleman's got it for a touchdown. The Miami defense is bad, so that makes it very easy for me to kind of trust in Allen a lot more. I just don't think that they're going to be able to do a whole lot. My big worry, again, is we talked about it yesterday, but they get up and then they might sit people. And, like, if it's not done in the first half, you might be in trouble. So that's just kind of how it is, unfortunately. So I'd much rather go for the big play. I like the idea of Dobbins, but again, the rotation that he's in isn't ideal, and so I'd much rather just roll with Coleman, has that big playability for you. Now, as I was talking about earlier, gave my way too early analysis on Sunday of bets I liked for this week. Part of the benefits of being in the Discord, we also have that a trade chat that, granted, is a lot more difficult because, of course, people are wanting to do trades, but we always suggest waiting until week 4, week 5, so 2 more weeks. I know it's brutal, but it's just something we try and do to make sure we get enough info that we're able to help you out. So outside of that, I post all my movies that I've watched and shows that I watch and all that good stuff. We have a fun community. I really enjoy everybody in there. It's been a good time. However, if you are really here for betting, that is tomorrow. Tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 Central, locked in. Those guys do an excellent job. They go through every game, go through the lines, go through the bets that they like, and roll it out. Another benefit of the Discord is they show you all this stuff that they really like and what they're betting. Then Sunday, I'm back here answering Start Sit. Monday is the wire, where we go through the waiver wire. Mike and I checking out who we like, who's available, kind of getting ready. Because I'm pretty sure bye week start next week. It's either next week or week 5. I feel like it's next week though, because let's see, is it week 5? Nope, it's week 5. Dang, so close. And the week it will be. I mean, I don't think it really hurts you anywhere except for your Packers and Falcons. Potentially DK, depending on how it does this week. So it'd be very interesting to see how that works out. Yeah, I agree. It's week 5. Just, had to double check. Exclusives back. What do you start? Palmer tonight over Judy, Diggs, or Sutton? I mean, probably not. Again, I don't see the Bills having to do a whole lot. And so I think this game could be over early, and they're just able to kind of run the ball and control the clock. And while I think Palmer is going to be a big part of that, is it enough to sit? I mean, Judy, it's close. Just because I'm a little nervous about Judy having tough coverage, but I don't see that game getting too out of control. And the fact that the Browns continue to throw so much, I don't think I could do it. I mean, and again, Sutton's kind of the same thing, but Myers just did a decent job. So yeah, that it's really tough. I mean, that's a good question. If it was pretty much anybody, well, I wouldn't say anybody else. I have a list of people that I have above them, if that is any, consolation or any help. But it's just believing that Palmer can do it. I like Palmer. That's part of the issue. I really do. Former Charger, looks good on a good team. They paid him. He finds space when they need it to get that first down or advance the ball. And so he has that veteran presence they kind of need with Shakir and Coleman. So I don't know. Yeah, it's definitely iffy. Serious sauce. All right, Tyreek or JCM? It's going to be JCM. I'm very curious to see how that game works out. I want to see how Bill does because I don't think he's going to get passing work, or if he does, it's going to be very minimal. Like, I'm expecting him to top out at 5 targets, which is a lot for a running back not named Austin Eckler or the pass-catching back, which I still think it's going to be McNichols, but we'll see how that actually ends up. And then I'm also terrified of Tyreek. Tyreek really has struggled against the Bills. I've been one of the few people who've kind of kept him in check. Honestly, they've kept both wide receivers in check. And so it'll be very interesting to see how this goes tonight. And so I can't bring myself to play Tyreek. And so I'd just much rather roll out JCM. All right. Guys, have any more questions? Please ask. Otherwise, I might end up just rolling out of here so we can watch the game or not watch the game because like I said, I'm nervous about it. Things are always wonky. It's a short week. It's that Sunday to Thursday is always rough. And yeah, this is the idea of starting people tonight is very frustrating. The short weeks always cause lower scoring games. It's one of the things I hate about Thursday games is that it's just such a short week to recover and get practice in and prepare. However, it also doesn't help that this is a divisional game. These are usually lower scoring. That's why I didn't like the number being so high at 49.5 for tonight. That's insane. Part of the reason I'm going with the under. But Daniel, are you concerned with crafting up a little bit? Yeah, and I've already told you, yes, I want Juwan Johnson on my team. Tyrone Tracy, I don't really care about right now. He has to show a lot more, and the fact that he's already been dinged for his lack of filter hurts him. So I would much rather have Juwan anyway as a backup, and then it also will help you with Kraft. Like, I understand why you're holding, but I'd much rather have Juwan. And I kind of made that pretty apparent since I say week 2 now, but week 1. Our first show for the waiver wire, I was high on Juwan Johnson. I've been high on him. His big issue is always health. Game time. You're welcome. Always happy to help, Ryan. And you're welcome, Sear Sauce. I know. I completely understand why. But you know what? I doubt anybody's going to pick up Tracy. So if that makes you feel better, that's something you take some solace in. All right, Chad. Last one. I don't believe you. You'll be back Sunday. I bet you almost anything. JCM, Judkins, or Henderson, standard flex. Yeah, you are banking on a touchdown. So of them, I'm going to go JCM. Judkins has a tough matchup. I know Neil's very high on him, and potentially he will get more work. However, I think JCM is the most likely to score of this bunch. We talked about it yesterday with Judkins and Henderson having some issues with people in front of him and splitting work. I'm more nervous about Judkins. I think he'll be fine in the first half, but I'm nervous that game gets away from him and they have to throw. And so with that in mind, I have him a little lower in my rankings. So much rather roll out Bill and hope for the best. You're welcome, Daniel. All right. Guys, haven't already, please like and subscribe. Always appreciate doing this. Love answering questions. Feel like you get a lot more information this way. I mean, I feel that way. Who actually knows? You're welcome, Chad. Hopefully. I'm hoping this will be a good game. It's always risky, though. Thursday night games are really hit or miss when it comes to enjoyment. If you usually like defenses, Thursday night games are for you. They're usually low scoring and just bouts of just pure anger and annoyance. So, you guys really appreciate it. Things you need to keep an eye on. There's a lot of injuries that are popping up right now. Kraft was one of them for today. Makes you a little nervous. Ekbuka haven't practiced yet. Also makes me a little nervous for this week. The Kraft going down early or tweaking his knee. That's always something to kind of be nervous on, but could easily be something they're able to cast or put a brace on, and that will help. So just kind of things to keep an eye on. A lot of cues showing up. The other thing that is kind of making me nervous is Xavier Worthy, just because of the fact that it's only been limited practices the past 2 days. I'm hoping that he logs a full practice on Friday. Otherwise, I might be looking somewhere else. So, all right. Well, that in mind, I'm going to get out of here. I don't see any more questions. Think we got them all answered. If you haven't already, please make sure to like and subscribe. Really appreciate you all. I know this is always a short one, but like to get it in, get it done, and really try and help you guys set your lineups ahead of the game. And so we'll see how it ends up going because, the Thursday night's rough. This is an ideal game for you. I think the next good one's in like 2 weeks. And so that'll be another interesting battle to kind of see how things are going. But, all right, I'm going to get out of here. I hope you all the best of luck. If you come back tomorrow for the betting show, Mason and Vishal will be here to answer all your questions. Super pumped for it. They do an awesome job. And then I will be back with more information on Sunday. We'll have a full week. I'll get all the reports in. All the news should start popping off while I'm answering questions. And I'll be able to deal with that while Neil's in the background helping out. So really appreciate you guys. Have a good Thursday night. Enjoy the game. And remember, as always, to keep up the nonsense. Have a good one, guys.